Yo, what's going on? It's season 2, episode 1 of the Third and 10 podcast. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen, joined always by my co-host, Brian Germinaro. Brian, how you doing? It's season 2, baby. We're here. Finally here, man. It's July. So, dude, football is just almost freaking
football's
here.
almost here. We kind of days bought the first fantasy football magazine the other day. We're getting ready. Getting ready for the start of a new year.
And then the college football game coming out in what? Not too long from now, right? Yeah, 20-something days.
It comes out the 19th, 16th if you want to pay some extra money. So Thursday?
Yeah.
3 weeks?
Have you pre-ordered it?
I'm buying it day of.
Okay, so are you trying to play it 3 days early, or are you gonna wait till the 19th?
No, I'll wait for the 19th.
You're a good man. You're a good man. I will not be doing that. I still have time to pre-order it, but I will be getting the deluxe edition, possibly the bundle. I know it's stupid to get the bundle.
Get Madden with it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's $150, and it's, from a price standpoint, it does kind of make sense.
No, I get it. I just won't be playing Madden enough with it. Like, I know if I'm going to get NCAA, I'm just going to be on NCAA. I'm not going to play Madden.
I know, because I'm scared. That's what I'm scared of, because if I get the bundle, I'm going to play NCAA a lot, because it's been, 10 years since the last one came out. But, like, Madden, I know, because the Giants added so many different players I want to play with. It's like...
right, yeah.
We'll see, but... At the end of the day, I'm July is going to be a big month from a sports standpoint. So season 2, guys, season 1 was fun. As if you guys forgot, Brian joined me last season during the Washington game, the one where Tyrod Taylor threw a touchdown to Darren Waller. Basically, Waller's only a touchdown, but I won't dive in too much into that. But ever since then, he's been my guy, Brian has, and we're excited to have this first full season covering the Giants and talking about the sports world, having different guests hop on with us as well. And just, continue to improve our craft. And we hope you guys continue to join us along for the ride. So without further ado, let's get started. First segment of the show. It is called Inside the Giant, presented by SeatGeek. Use the code BELLYUPSPORTS to get $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek, I'm telling you guys, whether it's concerts, comedy shows, sporting events, baseball season still going on, especially when football season comes back. Oh man,
pennant race is about to start. Trade deadline is less than a month away.
Exciting time.
It's gonna get exciting.
Exactly, and you do not want to miss any of the action. So use SeatGeek to get your tickets to go see the games in person. The official sponsor of the Third and 10 podcast. Again, use the code BELLYUPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. So, July 2nd is going to be a big night for the both of us. For those of you who have HBO or have HBO Max, you'll be joining us along for the ride because the New York Football Giants are going to be on Hard Knocks. We knew about this about a month or so ago. But actually, they released a trailer that was very, very interesting this past week. I watched it. Brian, you watched it. We were super excited. Very interesting towards the end of the trailer. But for those of you who haven't seen it yet, we got it right here for you.
New York Giants are now on the clock.
We should stay and pick, right? This is Atlanta. What are you thinking?
Our team's not built. We're still adding pieces, but we still have the draft and free agency.
What about Brian Burns? Have you looked at Brian Burns? We would have to trade like 2 2s, and then you have to pay him $29 million.
Breaking news. Brian Burns to the New York Giants.
I'm a G-man.
With the 6th pick, the New York Giants select Malik Neighbors.
You ready to be a New York Giant?
Yes, sir. Let's do it. I am 5 months from the surgery, so progressing that. I've gotten hurt, but not like this.
When you win here, it's unlike anywhere else. If you lose, they're going to be on your ass. It's New York, man.
He's doing everything he can to get back on the field.
Saquon, can you give me your word on that, or are you not going to give us a chance?
My job is to do what's best for the franchise.
Let's go!
Ooh, that's some heat, baby. Oh my god, man. I'm telling you, Tuesday cannot come any freaking faster, dude. I'm so
No,
excited.
cannot.
So shout out to the New York Giants YouTube channel for that trailer. First off, man, any takeaways from that? I mean, I'm sure there were some that kind of stood out to you based on that 1-minute trailer.
There's a few takeaways. The main one is two big ones for me. One is the Saquon Barkley decision. I think that, of course, is what, if you know how to make a trailer, that's the storyline that's going to grip Giants fans. And the perfect way to tease it with Joe Shane going, "Are you going to give us a chance?" I think this is going to completely clear the air of what happened during those negotiations, because we don't know exactly what happened. We're going to get a clear picture. Did Saquon Barkley give the Giants a chance to counteroffer? And based off that trailer, I'm going to say no. I don't think Saquon gave us a chance. Now, of course, you can take any clip out of context and twist it to get views. That might be, talking about something completely different. I'm just saying, based on what I'm seeing, based off what I've heard, Saquon Barkley is not going to look good in this. And the second thing I'm taking away is I'm hoping this documentary takes away this weird narrative that Malik Neighbors hates being a Giant, all right? I'm hoping that draft night, we're going to see him excited, smiling on the phone. We're going to get full coverage of Malik Neighbors' visit to the Giants, and we're going to see that he's actually excited to be in the NFL and get all these morons to stop coming up with Malik Neighbors wants out as soon as possible.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, to piggyback on you, the Saquon thing is going to be a big thing to watch, because it just, as we just saw, it just seems like, Joe Shane was wondering, like, hey, are you going to let us offer you? And as we know, Saquon tweeted out when someone asked him about the contract, he was like, yeah, it's hard to look like a villain when the team never offered me anything. Yeah, but the trailer kind of does.
The trailer kind of, it kind of makes you look like you're lying, Saquon. And, you went to Philly, so I don't want to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, as they always say, somebody's lying.
Someone's lying. It's Saquon. It's Saquon.
It looks like it is Mr. Barkley himself. So it'll be interesting to see how, Joe Shane and Brian,
like, shit himself. He's like, oh, crap.
He's like, they really
did me like that, huh?
Back. Hey, he stabbed us in the back. We do it right back to him. That's how it is in life.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm excited to see that. Excited to see how, Shane and Dable react to, because I'm sure they're gonna show, like, oh yeah, Saquon signed with the Eagles. I'm interested to see what or how the both of them react to that, because it's one thing for your star player to leave, it's another to see him go to a division rival in the Eagles. So let's see if there's any dislike between the two parties, but we shall see in the show.
I don't know if we're gonna get dislike in this, but during the season we'll see it. That first home game with Saquon, he's gonna hear the boo birds.
A lot of them too.
Oof. Yeah.
It's funny how a few years ago we were excited to see him on the team, as our franchise running back, and now all of a sudden we're about to be booing him for a good amount of time, unless he comes back. But I doubt he's coming back. But that's not the point.
Well, he's not coming. After what happens, I think week 8, he's not coming back.
Oh, definitely not. Another thing that I want to talk about is Brian Burns. They were talking about it. Joe Shane was like, yeah, we're gonna have to give up, 2 second round picks, and they only give up 1, right?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they only give up 1
it was a second and a fifth.
Yeah, so at first they were probably thinking like, oh, it's gonna cost a lot to get Burns. At the end of the day, a 2nd round pick, a 5th round pick, and a swap of 5th round selections. Yeah. Literally not that bad of a package at the end of the day. So I don't know if you noticed. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
Also, I think we're going to see like the trade negotiations. I think they're probably the first call with the Panthers was probably 2 second-round picks, and then when the Panthers realized there was no market for Brian Burns, that's when the price is going to come down. I don't think it's Shane. I think it's the Panthers being like, we got nothing. Let's just move them.
1,000%. I don't know if you saw, but you could see Shane Bowen's face for like a cool half a second to a second. I think his eyes lit up when he heard Brian Burns in the conversation. But I mean, I don't blame, because when you're the new defensive coordinator, you already have Thibodeau, you already have solid defensive guys already. You add in a guy like Brian Burns, man, that linebacking core is sick.
Oh yeah, it's deadly.
Because obviously they're edge rushers, but they're basically linebackers. You have Thibodeau and Burns on the sides, Okereke and McFadden on the inside. I do want to shout out Micah McFadden. That guy has been absolutely phenomenal because of his. He was drafted in the 5th round, and he showed out
6th,
yeah, and he showed out. He was a lot better last year compared to the 2022 season and before that as well. So shout out to him. Because without him, we would have a major hole at linebacker. But because of him, he's kind of solidified that spot next to Okereke. It's safe to say, Okereke has made him better, and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, no, it's safe to say that. But it just shows that where you're drafted doesn't matter. It's your work ethic and how a team develops you. McFadden is just a long example of just because you're a late round guy doesn't mean you're nobody. Actually put in the effort, and you're going to find the field.
Exactly. And then last thing, Daniel Jones was shown a few times during that trailer. One with Malik Neighbor. Seems like they're going to try to build chemistry. Oh, they're obviously trying to build chemistry with one another. But also, we're going to get a look in depth of his injury, recovery and how he's going through the process and all that stuff. So, for a guy that hasn't really talked much outside of post-game interviews, it would be nice to see him explain what he's going through and just see him talk, because it's rare to see him, outside of just regular interviews and stuff, to see him, talk about stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, with Daniel Jones, it's either we see him like during the post-game press conference at his locker, or it's, Daniel Jones at some bar in Hoboken. That's the only time you hear about Daniel Jones in the media. It's one of the two. It's going to be nice to see him talk about like what he's going through with this injury. We're going to see a completely different side of Jones, because you heard it in the trailer. He goes, I've gone through injuries, nothing like this before. So this whole thing is a daunting task for him. And it's be really interesting to see not only how he physically comes back, but how he's able to mentally deal with this, ACL injury.
Yes, sir. So July 2nd, that is going to be the first episode. I'm not sure. Is it going to be live on HBO, or is it going to be just on HBO Max?
I think it's just HBO Max.
Yes. Hopefully at midnight. Because I'll be midnight for the East Coast. So it'll be 9 p.m. our time.
HBO Hard Knocks Giants release. I hope it's midnight. It premieres on July 2nd. But what does that mean?
Debuts at 9 p.m. on HBO, and will be available to stream on Max, with new episodes debuting on subsequent Tuesdays. So
does it mean releasing at 9?
At 9 p.m. on HBO.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on TV.
But it also could be 9 p.m. on HBO Max, because House of Dragons on Sunday releases at 9 on HBO and on Max. You do both.
Oh, okay. Bet.
Yeah, so it could be 9 on HBO, simulcast on Max.
Oh, so for the rich people who have HBO, the channel, they can watch it at 9. But for those like us on a budget who have HBO Max,
don't worry, you're still good. Yeah, I mean that's what they do with House of Dragons. I don't know if Hard Knocks for me it's higher because it's the Giants and football and stuff. But like the whole culture thing is HBO. It's Hard Knocks on same level as Dragons. I don't know. I can't tell you that. I like both of them. More people should like both. They're both great.
I still have not given it a chance yet, but one of these days I will surprise you.
Give it a chance before football season. It's a show you got to lock in for.
Oh, when you say lock in, that's when you know.
I'm glad it's happening now, so it's going to be done by the time football comes. So once it's over, I can get right. I can do that and the Mets pennant chase at the same time. I can't do that, a Mets pennant chase and a Giants football season at the same time. And Notre Dame football season.
Oh my God. We'll get to Notre Dame in just a second. But yeah, I mean, just so much to juggle, overall, especially when we get past July into August, that's when things really heat up and everything. Baseball is heading down the stretch during that time. Preseason football is happening as well.
Yeah, it's starting. You get preseason games. You're kind of seeing the roster. You get an idea of like, all right, this guy's going to get cut. This guy we'll never see again, which is kind of wrong because I remember I remember somebody tweeted out during the final preseason game last year, "Goodbye, Tommy DeVito. See you next preseason." And little did any of us know what was coming for Tommy DeVito and Giants fans. Did you see the picture of his agent with the Pope?
Yeah, I
tweeted
had
out, I'm like,
questions.
imagine explaining this to somebody before last season. Like, imagine, like, take a time machine back 1 year, so show someone that picture and be like, "This is Tommy DeVito's agent with the Pope. You'll love this picture in a year."
Back then we'd probably be like, why is he even there? But hey,
Like, what is going on?
how
What
the
is
world works, I'm telling you, man. It's just, it seemed like yesterday, honestly, that the season was ending from the Super Bowl, and now here we are. We're almost, time's gonna go by fast, and like before we know it, preseason.
It always does.
I know. Thank God, though. Seriously,
Yeah.
Basketball's over. Thank God.
Your boy
well,
LeBron opted out.
We'll get to that later on in the show.
I mean,
I
he's
hope,
coming back. They got Brownie. He's coming back.
but he better come back for the right reasons. And I
Oh no,
promise
he's coming
you,
back. He's coming back for Brownie. That's why he's coming back.
from a financial standpoint, though, he better like take a little pay cut, because I'll explain myself. Anyways,
Okay.
So with Hard Knocks coming out, obviously in a few days, throughout until the season starts, I want to have each of us give a bold prediction with each episode, and we'll write it down, we'll record it, obviously, and then that way, throughout the season and when the season ends, we'll look back at it and say, oh, okay, we sounded smart on this one, we sounded kind of weird on this one, stuff like that. So, would you like to go first with a bold prediction for the Giants?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm going to say that Brian Burns finishes in the top 5 of Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah. You want bold? There you go.
Someone wants to cook. Jeez. Mm-hmm. Okay. According to Giants Wire, Brian Burns he has a good chance to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never been an All-Pro, but that's going to change.
Right, exactly. He's in New York. He's in a new system. He's got some help around him with Kayvon. Zio Jolari's going to be a backup, but he'll slide in, help him out. Got Dexter Lawrence at nose. Okereke, McFadden. Like, there's a lot to guard in that Giants front seven. Brian Burns is going to be able, and he's going to be, of course, the main guy everyone's going after. But I think, at the very least, he was going to help the Giants get those sack numbers way up. That's the one, especially for a fantasy standpoint, one of the big questions of the Giants defense is how can they get their points up? And, easy comes from sacks. Mm-hmm. Brian Burns' presence there is going to make that pass rush like we saw in 07 and 11.
Okay. I don't know if I should want to cook this up now or wait. I'll do it. Daniel Jones will throw for 4,000 yards at least.
Wow.
I believe it. I know he's never done it. Obviously, he's barely reached 3,000 yards. Mm-hmm. However, you have Malik. You have a well-improved receiving core. I do think Theo Johnson will make a big impact for him. For Jones, will make things easier for Jones in the passing game as well. He's a vertical threat. So overall, Daniel Jones will throw for at least 4,000 yards. So that is one bold prediction from me, one bold prediction from you. In the next episode, we will, give another prediction.
Give that one.
And we'll go from there. So shout out to our first segment, Inside the Giant, presented by SeatGeek. Use the code BELLYUPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Okie dokie. So we're going to shift from the NFL real quick to the college game. For the college football game that's coming out, 20 days from now, right, Brian?
Yeah.
I will likely be rebuilding either Oregon or Colorado.
Okay.
But who will you be rebuilding?
So I got a few schools in mind.
Okay,
First school I'm going to do is Notre Dame, obviously.
of
Big
course.
Notre Dame fan. Build them into a dynasty. Go
Okay.
from there. Then I'm going to do Army because I think it'd be really funny to do a military school. Make Army national power. Throw us back to the days of World War II and the Cold War when Army and Navy were playing for natties every single year. And then after that, I'm going to do SMU because they got the death penalty and rebuild that into an actual power program. If you know the story of SMU, you know how cool that's going to be.
Okay. Army though?
Yeah.
Will
Army,
you be will you be running the triple option?
haven't decided that yet.
Okay, I was gonna say because I don't know if they're built to pass.
I don't know if I'm going to run triple option or I'm definitely going to do a run heavy team, but I'm also kind of want to do a little bit of modern stuff. We'll figure it out.
Imagine being a receiver in Army's offense. Ugh.
We can change the offense. I know the recruits there are not good, but give me a few recruiting classes. I can bring in some good receivers. You have to go fight. You have to go fight in the Middle East for a little bit before the NFL, but
What is your convincing point to bring prospects to Army, for example? Like how would you convince them to be like, come to Army over like a Bama or Ohio State?
that's next to impossible. Like I know in college football it's easy. In the video game it's easy because you just play the game, give them points and stuff like that. But if I was to do it in real life, I would say you get an education at one of the greatest schools in America. You're at a historic program that everybody knows. Like everyone knows what West Point is. At your fingertips, you have access to, thousands, of different facilities and, history. If you kind of just like to be kind of a Swiss Army knife and be an athlete and, a student and learn, this is where you should come.
Apparently,
Be a
you
more
can.
well-rounded individual than just a football player.
Apparently, you can DM players in the game. So I'll be like, "Hey, John,
Hey, John, come serve your country.
you up?"
Hey, John.
But we're talking about college because our second segment is called Subway Alumni Opinion. And I was confused as you are, our fellow viewers and listeners, because I thought Brian would want to name this segment after the Irish, and apparently it is named after the Irish. But basically, Subway Alumni Opinion will be a every episode segment in which this is gonna be all Brian, guys. This I will not have any say, and I'll have some opinion, but rarely will I do. Because this is going to be a specific Notre Dame segment covering the football team, obviously, what to expect, game previews for the Fighting Irish, and as we honestly, I do hope you guys, get back to the college football playoff, which you guys probably will.
We
I mean,
should.
it's 12 teams.
If the Notre Dame doesn't go to the playoffs this year, there was a massive failure somewhere.
Exactly.
A massive failure. Like, so much so we have to really examine this coaching staff.
Which is still under Brian Kelly.
It's under Marcus Freeman now. Brian Kelly left this 2 years ago now. This is Freeman's third year at the helm.
And this is why I will not be part of this segment. So, Brian, this is all you. A couple questions for you about this segment. Why is it named Subway Alumni Opinion? And second, who are some players that we should be keeping an eye on if we're looking at the Fighting Irish?
Okay, so to understand Subway Alumni, we have to do a little history lesson here. So Notre Dame was founded as a Catholic institution back in the day when there was very heavy Catholic discrimination in America. Catholics weren't allowed to get jobs. There were signs saying no Irish allowed, stuff like that. So Notre Dame was founded so Catholics had a place to go, get a higher education, and be at the same level as everybody else. Notre Dame started playing football, started getting pretty good at it, wanted to join the Big Ten Conference. I forgot exactly what year it was, but it's early 1900s, 1910s. Want to join the Big Ten, and they're denied by Michigan because I believe the athletic director was extremely anti-Catholic and was against letting Notre Dame into their conference. So Notre Dame is behind the eight ball. They're not in this big conference. They can't compete with schools like Michigan and Ohio State, and get the same level of recruits. So what do? They pivot and become the first national brand of college football. Back in the day, college football was very regional. Sure, you might get a Michigan fan in Connecticut and New York. That's because they're a Michigan alum, not because they're watching Michigan every Saturday. Michigan fans with the Michigan, Boston College fans in Boston and Massachusetts, Bama fans down in Bama. That was really it. It was a very regional sport until Notre Dame. Notre Dame started scheduling games against schools like USC, Army, traveling out to the West Coast, traveling to the East Coast, playing games at Yankee Stadium, playing games, at the Coliseum on the West Coast. And that created this national brand because everyone's watching the Irish now. It's not just people in Indiana, it's coast to coast are watching the Irish. And if you're, Irish Catholic, here are these guys that are just like you, beating up some of the best schools in the country. Of course, you're going to resonate with that. Since it became so big, there were a network of fans that had no connection to the school. So that those fans gave themselves the name Subway alumni. So basically, if you're a Subway alumni, you're a fan of Notre Dame who never went to the university or has no connection to the university whatsoever, which is like me. I grew up watching Notre Dame football because it was on NBC at 3:00.
Okay. All right. I like it. Well, I guess you can consider me, part of the Subway alumni.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, heck of a backstory, boy.
Very, very, very interesting. That's why Notre Dame is still independent, because it's all right. You didn't want us, we're going to do it our way.
But they should, honestly, I feel like they should be in a conference though. But it is nice to be independent.
Yeah, I don't. It's our history. It's what makes Notre Dame so unique. If we join a conference, we're no different than any other school.
Okay, so you never want them in a conference ever?
No. If the only way I want Notre Dame to join a conference is if the path to a championship is taken away. Say you can't make the playoffs unless you're in a conference. At that point, okay, we have to join a conference now because winning is so much more important than our independence.
That is true, and you guys have a chance to do it this year with the 12-team playoff. And yeah, we'll go from there. So obviously, eventually down the line, at some point in July, we'll cover the schedule for Notre Dame and break down each game and predictions and stuff like that. But just to start this new segment of yours, Brian, who are some players, man, that we should be looking out for on the Irish?
So the first one is probably the most obvious. It's Riley Leonard, the starting quarterback, the Duke transfer. Started at Duke last year. If you remember when Notre Dame played Duke, it was a very back-and-forth game, 14-14. Notre Dame won off an Andre Estime walk-off touchdown with 35 seconds left in the game. But in that game, Riley Leonard was the quarterback of Duke and got hurt during the game. And after the game was over, Notre Dame starting quarterback Sam Hartman waited outside the blue tent to see if Riley Leonard was okay. And at that moment, there was this idea that Leonard might start leading Notre Dame. And then as soon as he had the transfer portal, it was a foregone conclusion he was coming over here. But Leonard, he's got some injury issues right now. Didn't participate in the spring game. Didn't participate in spring practice. He should be ready to go for week 1 against Texas A&M. And this kid is going to be really exciting to watch. If you watch him at Duke, imagine what Al Golden's going to do with him. He's going to be really, really fun to watch. The second guy I watch, I would say he's the number 1 receiving threat in this offense, and that is tight end Mitchell Evans. Notre Dame is offensive lineman and tight end U. Mitchell Evans is the perfect guy to continue that legacy of Notre Dame excellence. And finally, on defense, the guy you got to watch out for is Howard Cross III. Graduate student, has played Notre Dame 5 years now. He is a disruptor on the line. He's not as good as Dexter Lawrence, but he's like Dexter Lawrence where he just crashes that line and messes up run games and makes quarterbacks afraid. So those would be the three main guys I would watch in this Notre Dame season.
Okay. All right. I like it. Yeah, I've seen Leonard a few times play for Duke. You mentioned the Notre Dame game. I was actually cleaning my room that day and put the game on. Very, very close game for sure. And you mentioned Audric Estin with the walk-off touchdown run. But definitely a good moment at the end when Hartman went to check on Mr. Leonard. And ironically enough, he's on the Irish now. So that'll be fun to watch. Mitchell Evans, a big improvement from 2022 to 2023. 29 catches in last season for 422 yards and a touchdown compared to just 3 catches in 2022. So,
and with the receiving core that had a lot of people transfer out and had a lot of changeover, having a established guy who was a starter last year coming back is going to help a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at statistically, he's bound to make a jump for sure, 1,000%. And you mentioned Howard Cross. Isn't he the son of? He's a son of somebody.
He might Howard Cross II.
There you go. Yes. Wow. Who would have known? I'm just kidding.
Who would have guessed?
Oh no. Had 2 sacks last season. 66 total tackles for Mr. Cross himself.
Howard Cross was a New York Giant.
What if we did? What if we? Oh, we don't need him, huh?
He played tight end. He went to Alabama, drafted in 1989, played till 2001.
Would the Giants need him?
What?
Would the Giants need him if we could? Would we draft him?
Probably not, because he plays nose tackle.
Oh, never mind. Because I thought
it's his dad, or I don't think it's his dad. It's Howard. It's his dad.
Dang. Well,
Cross's dad is the third in all-time games played for the Giants. He's only behind Strahan and Eli.
Okay. Well, he's gonna be a good player for somebody, just not us.
Mm-hmm. No.
Unless we're in a 4-3 defense. But I digress. All right then. Well, great start, Brian, to the Subway Alumni Opinion. We're excited to see what you have in store for us the rest of the season, man. Hopefully we'll get a lot more insight from you on the team. And we'll go from there. We'll break down the schedule one of these episodes as well. So shout out to you, my guy. Thank you very much for that. As we shift towards our third segment, so we're going to go back to the NFL, but nothing Giants related in this segment. We're going to call it the carousel. Basically, we'll look at the other 31 teams, any headlines surrounding those teams and stuff like that. I think we discussed Brandon Ayuk before, so I don't think we need to dive too much into that, although he was on a podcast and he did say if it's not the Niners, he's interested in the Commanders or the Steelers.
Steelers are interesting. Steelers are definitely the interesting one. Like, Commanders makes sense. He wants to go play with Jane Daniels again. I mean, Steelers would be cool. He would be wide receiver 1 there. He would definitely help out Wilson and Fields get better and make that Steelers offense just a little more dangerous.
They do need some receivers because outside of George Pickens, a lot of uncertainty. I think their second guy is like Van Jefferson. So I'm
and even like George Pickens, like, I like him, but like, he's not a wide receiver 1. Like, he kind of took a step back this season, I feel.
I would say he's not a wide receiver 1 yet.
No,
as of right now,
I feel like we all anointed him after his rookie, like, oh, this guy's going to be it. And then we just kind of never saw the next step.
Exactly. I mean, Ayuk would fit there. With the Commanders, obviously, it'd fit. But apparently he does, if possible, want to stay in SF. And I don't blame him. I mean, California is a nice place to be. But you got to, the money has to make sense. And apparently it has not. No deal hasn't made yet. So we'll see what happens with that. But I want to cover the Chiefs real quick because apparently the NFL wants to make a holiday romance film about the Chiefs with the Hallmark Channel. Now, for you guys that don't know, the Hallmark Channel is a heartwarming channel.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible, dude. Holy cow. We could
horrible. If you don't know what the Hallmark Channel is, God bless. I want your life.
Thank God. Like, they saved themselves. from that. But it's gonna be a rom-com. It's gonna be called Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story.
Of course, it's Christmas. Because why not? Every holiday, every Hallmark movie is Christmas or Valentine's Day. Every single one.
So it's gonna be in Kansas City. Fans will be able to see the scenes at Arrowhead Stadium. So the movie's basically gonna be shot.
It's Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
I don't know why they're doing this, man.
Money. Capitalize on the new eyeballs they have.
So there's not going to be any Chiefs players in the movie, but it's going to be starring Tyler Hines from Shifting Gears, Hunter King from Two Scoops of Italy, and Better Call Saul actor Ed Begley Jr.
I only recognize one of those people from Better Call Saul, and I just know the show. I never watched it. The other two, can't tell you.
I don't get this story. So basically, oh my God, why are we doing this?
I mean, the hockey did it a few years ago. They had, I don't know if the NHL was involved with it, but they had similar story. A Rangers player got hurt, was rehabbing in Hartford, and it was a love story.
Okay.
What are we doing here, boys?
This is cringeworthy. So it's gonna be
It's
about
on the Hallmark Channel. Everything's cringeworthy in the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, but like, shouldn't you learn your lesson already? Like, if it's cringy, don't like, you know.
No, they haven't. They keep making them. There's 1,000 movies. They're all the same.
Oh my God. So it's gonna be about a super fan named Alana Higman who's determined to win the team's Fan of the Year contest and the fan engagement director. The two begin to feel romantic tension as Derek evaluates whether her family deserves to win the contest. But when Alana's grandfather loses his vintage Chiefs winter hat, she begins to question her future with Derek unless a little Christmas magic can throw a Hail Mary.
I thought this was going to be like a football player. This is about two people that work for the Chiefs. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. What is this? Who wants to watch this? No one asked for this. Like, if you can at least make it a football player and make it like semi a football movie, you might get some eyeballs on it. Because, like, all right, it is so like the movie Fever Pitch, which is about a baseball super fan Red Sox. There are baseball scenes in the movie. All right, so yeah, you might get a baseball fan to watch it. Make it about an athlete falling in love with a super fan. That's every super fan's dream. Like this is basic. You could make this about anything. You can make this about Disney. You can make it about Target. Like, who's the Target super fan? And they fall in love with the marketing director. This is not a football story.
And apparently she's questioning her future because her grandpa lost his Chiefs hat. What does that have to do with anything? Because your grandfather lost that hat?
Yeah.
Like, just go buy a new one, bro.
It's a vintage Chiefs hat. I bet you I could find a vintage Chiefs hat online for $5.
Bro, on eBay for like $2, if anything.
Right here, $20.
This is ridiculous, bro. All because of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Oh,
see, that's what I thought it was at first. Like, oh, it's like the fan, a football player falls in love with a fan. Like, all right, this is very clearly like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift trying to make. If they did a story like that, I still think it's stupid. But like, at least I can understand why they would make a movie like that because all the Swifties would watch it and it would make money. That movie sounds boring.
You could be an extra though in the movie. If you're available from July 6th to the July 27th, you could do it. Yes, they will pay you $150 a day.
That's not enough.
Really?
Nope. Being a Hallmark movie, I mean a lot more money than that.
From July 6th to the 27th, $150 a day.
How many days is that?
They might lose money.
They will lose money.
Oh yeah. I don't. Hey man, I'll watch it.
I'm not.
No,
you make $3,000. You're gonna make $3,000 if you work every single day as an extra.
Oh, that's $3K, dog. Oh, you might have to rollerblade. Oh, yeah, about that. I don't know.
I'll rollerblade, but it's gonna be funny. Take away from the story.
Gotta kill somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill the actor.
Other than that, we don't have anything else from outside. Anything else not Giants related. That's worth noting. Oh yeah, Jamarcus Russell apparently got fired from his high school coaching job because he took $74,000 from the school. That was a donation.
Did he do anything right? Like, first we had the rumor that he didn't watch tape on DVD, and now we got this. And he showed the Razor camp too fat. Like, what are we doing here, Jamarcus? Just show you care a little bit.
A #1 overall bust, doesn't watch film, didn't last long. Now he's stealing money because he's
back
broke.
Apparently.
Like, bro, how are you broke? You can't 75,000. You gotta steal that? Come on, man. Do better. Come
Really?
on,
Yeah, do better.
Come on,
Jamarcus Russell.
Come on, Jamarcus. Alrighty.
Make a movie about that on Hallmark Channel, and more people will watch it.
I would watch that one.
That I would watch.
Mm-hmm. I would be his agent.
About a woman falling in love with a football player, but he can never get out of his own way.
Dating a #1 overall bust.
And it sucks.
Oh my god.
You gotta decide to this. Did you want to stay with him, or is his actions too much?
Do you really love him, or do you not? Find out next.
Find out next time.
Last segment of the day. It's gonna be called "Outside the Lines," featuring my favorite TV character, Stewie from Family Guy, and
Charlie from Always Sunny.
Thank you very much. Explain that, please. Because I know you don't like Philadelphia, but you like the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you could put that show in any single city and it would work. They just happen to put it in Philly. It's just a very ironic thing.
It's Always Sunny in California.
Yeah, Always Sunny California, Always Sunny New York. It's about 5 people who own a bar. And they do get-rich-quick schemes, and they're all morons.
All right, then we'll get to TV shows in a bit anyways. So the Florida Panthers. The only thing I know about hockey is the San Jose Sharks are terrible. They had the #1 overall pick yesterday.
They drafted a stud.
Yeah.
Who was born in 2006.
I don't care, man. It's like they're still gonna be bad anyways.
Oh, definitely.
But
Dude's 18.
Oh, okay, we got time. We got time. But Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. You're the hockey guy out of the two of us. So I mean, the Oilers were about to come back from 3-0.
Yeah, Oilers wasted all of our time giving us, 04 Red Sox vibes that they're gonna, come back down 3-0 and magically come back, and then their best player, Connor McDavid, does nothing in Game 7 or Game 6 for that matter.
He put up a stinker, right? McDavid did.
Really, he only had 2 shots in the final 2 games. Which, he had an amazing postseason. But when your best player does nothing, you're not gonna win. And there was a few shots, especially in Game 7, where Sergei Bobrovsky just went God mode and stopped everything in his track. And then he has one moment late in the third period where Zach Hyman had a wide open net and just completely whiffed on the puck. Here's bad luck. Florida came out in Game 7, went back to what they know how to do. Tough, gritty physical play, great on the forecheck, and just locked down the Oilers' play.
Okay. I think it's just funny how a state that's not known for ice or hockey or cold places in general.
Yeah. I think it's more funny that Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup since 1993.
Hockey's Canada's sport.
Hockey's Canada's sport. Then why have you won it in 31 years?
Yeah. Watch, the Olympics are still gonna stink it up. USA. Yeah, shout out to the Florida Panthers, man. Great job. Yeah, sure. Sharks 2025 champions. I'm just playing. Let's see what the New York Mets, huh? I think they're not doing too bad from a record standpoint, right?
They are 40-39 now. They are over 500, but they are 16-7 in the month of June or something like that. They've won since Grimace has thrown out the first pitch. They are 12-2. Completely crapped all over the Yankees on Tuesday and Wednesday. In the building on Wednesday night when they beat them 12-2. Greatest Met game I've ever been at. I mean, this Mets team, for someone who on this very show claimed they were dead and said they should stop playing baseball, I'm willing to eat crow. I was dead wrong. This team, when Lindor went to the leadoff spot, this team did a complete 180. This is now the most exciting team in all of Major League Baseball to watch.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, Jeff McNeil hit a homer. That's when you know.
I was there last night, and they won 7-2.
Man, he homered. Alonso homered. You beat the Astros. You can't get anything better than that, man. And you guys are 4 games back of the Braves for the.
You can't get better than that.
Okay,
You can have your backup middle infielder do a concert at second base after the game.
What is that about, man?
It's our boy. Jose Iglesias is also a musician, an artist in his spare time, and released his song OMG, which is #1 in the Latin charts on Apple Music, and I believe number 20 in all of the US. So it's the Mets fans' new song, and Mets love it. It's Grimace, and oh my God, I never would have thought those two would revive the season, but they have. And the vibes are just great right now, right? Like, if you look at the video last night, I don't know if you can pull it up. It's all over. I tweeted it out. It's all over Twitter. It's crazy. He's out there singing, and the entire team runs out and joins him. Like, this team is just on a complete different level right now. It's a completely different team than what it was in May.
I'm just like it. So it took Grimace and a song for you guys to just ball out the way you guys have done. So it's honestly unbelievable. I think I lost him. Did we lose him? All right, we lost him. Nope, he's back. Nope. I don't see you, buddy. All right, Brian will be back in just a bit. But you know, it's I'm just surprised how little it takes for a team to get back to being good. Obviously, the Mets have struggled a lot this season, obviously, and the Philadelphia Phillies have dominated the NL East, and you know, Braves have dealt with injuries, but the Mets aren't that far away. And it's like to the point where all it took was just a character from McDonald's, and
there it is. There it is.
Yeah. Let me play this.
It's the fans' reaction to it, but it's very, very funny.
Oh my God.
Like, how can you not be over the moon if you're a Met fan right now? How can you not love this stuff?
Oh my God.
And it helps the song is very, very, it's been stuck in my head all day.
It's a catchy song.
It's catchy. It's catchy.
I love it. I really do, honestly. He, a hell of a singer, though.
Bro, you should just, you're a backup infielder. You're doing pretty decently, so don't retire this year, but, in the offseason, if you're not coming back to the Mets, just go into music full time. You're doing great there. You become a great musician.
Seriously, he has a future, though. Seriously. I know a lot of, there's some players, pro athletes who, they think they could sing or rap. Nah, this dude.
This guy actually can. This guy actually has talent.
Exactly. So I love the song. You love the song. Mets are winning games now. It is good to see the Mets win. Seriously, and people are like, "Oh yeah, the Yankees and all that," but yeah, when both
Yankees
New
are
York teams,
struggling.
see,
Struggling. They're 3-7 the last 10, and have just been getting shelled. Like they won 16-5 last night, but they lost 9-7 on Tuesday to the Mets. They lost 12-2, and they lost 9-2 on Thursday. This team has got major holes in it, and outside of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, there's no one in that lineup really doing anything. It's the same problem the Yankees have had for years. They're too reliant on Judge, and now in this case, too reliant on Judge and Soto. They do not have a balanced lineup. All right, if those two go cold, it's over.
exactly. Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and the Yankees and the Mets are a great example of that. And honestly, good to see. Seriously, you're my guy, and honestly, I want to see both of our teams win. The Phillies are doing so, and the Mets are doing so as well. So you know what? At the end of the day, and you know what? We can both agree: screw the Braves.
Exactly. Screw the Braves. Braves suck.
Well, we have injuries. I don't give a care.
I really don't care. You weren't doing great before the injuries.
Exactly. You were healthy last season, and the Phillies still beat you. What difference does it make? Spencer Strider, who? No one cares.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the last thing I want to mention for the outside the line segment, we'll start doing this often as well. Top 5 lists and stuff like that. Today's topic is top 5. You want to do movies or TV shows?
Let's do TV shows. That's what I have on top of my head right now. Movies I'd let you sit and think.
Yeah, I need some time for that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Movies next week or next episode.
You got it. Top 5 TV shows. You go first, buddy. What are your top 5? We'll go from 5 to 1.
5 to 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5 is Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
Very good. Love the show. Ron Swanson might be my favorite TV character of all time.
Okay.
Number 4 is The League, which is a show used to be on FX, used to be Always Sunny's companion. It's about guys in a fantasy football league, and it's just a really dumb show to turn your mind off and watch. It's a great time. Number 3 is going to be The Office. That was the first show I ever sat and binged. It got me into loving binge watching. I was a freshman in high school. Like that summer at 10, the Mets were at 10 o'clock, and then The Office was on until 2 in the morning. And I was just every night. It was 10 to 2 watching The Office. So it brings back very good memories of that summer. Number 2 is The Sopranos. Getting away from comedy a little bit, getting a little serious. Sopranos. Always been interested in the mob. Very cool. Tony Soprano might be one of my favorite characters of all time. And then, of course, we'll finish it off. Number 1, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely need to watch The Office. I told myself I was going to, but it's a lot of episodes, and I'm just like, can I commit to it? I don't know. Well,
it is, but it's one of those shows that like everybody our age has watched. So like it's just such a neat, like, oh, you watched The Office. Oh, cool. It's just kind of like a neat thing like that.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, I got a few solid ones. One of them from Netflix. So number 5, I have Jane the Virgin. It's a Netflix show, a lot of episodes. So if you're going to commit, good luck to you. Each episode is like an hour or something long, depending. But it's a good show about a woman who got pregnant on accident. And it's just a whole...
Yeah.
It's just, guys, trust me, especially guys in general. I know we don't watch this stuff, but give it a shot, I promise. Number 4 is Everybody Hates Chris. Love that show. A bit older for sure, but light comedy.
It's Chris Rock, right? Chris Rock show. Terry
Rock.
Crews is in it.
Terry Crews, Tyler James Williams, that's his name. Yeah. Just overall a great show about how just say a regular African American family just goes through life, especially the son, obviously around Chris. And his sister is a bit of a stubborn character. Viewers might hate her to an extent, but hey, that's just the show. That's just my opinion. Number 3 is going to be Friends. Honestly, I'm a light comedy type of guy. I love shows that they're funny, but they don't go overboard, or they're not bad funny. It's just light.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
family friendly humor.
exactly
Like sure, like Friends like has moments where it's a little more adulty, but it's not like there's not a
crazy.
scene like in Always Sunny in Philadelphia where people are having sex underneath a bridge.
Exactly. Oh,
That's a real scene.
okay.
They're
Well,
under the boardwalk. It's hilarious.
Part of me wants to find out about it. Part of me does not. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated. But yeah, Friends. I mean, what 10 plus seasons? Unfortunately, one of the actors. Wow.
Chandler, yeah.
Chandler. I can't think of the name. Holy
Not Matthew
cow.
Perry.
Yes, Matthew Perry. Yeah.
Yeah. Very sad.
Unfortunately, it
Finally turned his life around too.
I don't know where to. It was just like
a lot of drug problems and everything. Always loved Jennifer Aniston. Never had the courage to ask her out. Very sad stuff to read.
yeah, that one hit.
Yeah.
But
He always like I've heard interviews. He always like say like, "Oh, hi Jennifer," and then go to his dressing room, just like curse himself out. Like, "Oh, this guy needs so much help. Go better help, people. Go to better help. Go therapy.
I know.
Don't end up like that."
1000%. Yeah, I just he was just a great actor. He didn't start just started in a lot of other films and stuff. And yeah, he was one of my favorite characters on the show, man. And it's just for him to see him pass unexpectedly was definitely a heartbreaker. But yeah, Friends, a lot of seasons, but at the end of the day, just a great show. So if you haven't, give that a shot as well. Number 2, Ted Lasso, man. Oh my God. I know it's Apple TV exclusive, but Ted Lasso.
If you have an iPhone, you have an Apple TV account.
Exactly.
It's a thing that no one really knows about, but if you have Apple, you're in.
Exactly.
That's what I've been watching. That's what I'm watching all the Met games on Apple TV.
Apple TV's all right. I have to say. It's all right.
All the national streaming, they're probably the best. Fox is the only one that comes close because ESPN is horrific. Like, the Fox World Series coverage is okay. I hate John Smoltz. Like,
really?
Yeah, he just calls the game like he hates the modern game. He talks about how like the 90s was so much better. It's like, dude, you're not analyzing the game like you should. You're analyzing it like it is 30 years ago. Adapt to the times. Like, it's sure pitchers aren't going deep in the games anymore, but because they're throwing harder and we have more information on the elbow that if you throw more innings, your elbow's going to get hurt more. That's what it is. You have to learn that. He doesn't. He's very stubborn. He's very much old man yells at cloud type guy.
Thank God for Joe Davis.
Yeah, Joe Davis is great. Love Joe Davis.
He's so good.
Yes.
Oh my God. His calls.
I've always thought Joe Buck was a better baseball announcer, and when I heard he wasn't going to do World Series anymore, I was actually kind of upset because to me, his voice means a big baseball game. Joe Davis has slid in and done an unbelievable job replacing him. Unbelievable.
Out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Next episode, top 5 announcers.
There we go.
Commentators.
So wait, for that, is it going to be like just national ones, or can we do like local guys?
It could be local, anyone.
Perfect.
I have a feeling you have some good ones.
I got some good ones.
Okay. But Ted Lasso, yeah, my second favorite show of all time. About an American high school football coach goes to England to coach a soccer team. No knowledge of soccer whatsoever. And honestly, the beautiful thing about it is rarely about sports. Like, soccer is covered, obviously, to an extent, but it's the story behind him, the coach, to be exact, and just the players, how they go from just a separated group of guys to just coming together as a family. Y'all got to give it a watch. It's 3 seasons long. Episodes between like 40 and 50 minutes. Mental health is one of the big topics during that show as well. And honestly, I love it. I watched it recently for the second straight time. All the episodes, every single one, didn't miss a second. It felt like I never watched it before, honestly, but I just enjoyed. I love the show. So shout out to Ted Lasso.
I've always thought with Ted Lasso, like I know like it's over now, like they've done 3 seasons, they're done. If it's a movie, if it's a TV special, they should do one with Lasso coaching the U.S. national team, like in a World Cup or something. Wouldn't that be fun?
Ooh,
Make it a movie, make it like a like a 4-episode thing. That I think would be a really, really cool kind of way to end the character.
Yeah, that would be heat. Because he kind of left off just going home. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Sure, that's fine and everything, but like, let's do like, all right, he, reaches the top. Like, obviously, is Ted Lasso going to coach Team USA to a World Cup victory? Probably not, but you could get good, funny things out of a World Cup style event. Doesn't have to be the World Cup. Just make it like, a Champions League type thing with, the soccer team he coaches. Do some kind of international tournament. I think it'd be funny, and also kind of plays off that soccer, the different element of soccer that Americans aren't really used to, because we don't, like, hockey's the only really international sport Americans like gravitate towards. Like, basketball is international, but it's dominated by the US. Football, it's only us in Canada. Baseball is becoming more national, but like more international, but like it's still a very big American game. You got like Japan and South Korea and the Caribbeans, but like Europe, it's not really out there. Soccer being that global game, having a international season would just make things a little different.
And it sucks how he won't be able to work with the players that he coached in
Yeah.
England. But then again, that's why new cast of characters, see how he, works
Until
with
you
them.
make it like a movie. Like, okay, this is just a short thing. This is just basically like about Ted Lasso. None of the other characters matter. It's a Ted Lasso story.
Exactly. And just like you said, end his character, kind of give viewers like, okay, this is a good way to end things. So yeah. Hey, go tell Apple TV, bro.
Yeah.
Tell him. Go pitch it to him.
Mm-hmm.
You better get credit though.
Oh, I better see some money.
And then number one, as we saw from the thumbnail earlier for the segment, Family Guy is my number one favorite show. Honestly, I wasn't able to watch it as a kid. Started watching it actually first year of college. I was working at a burger restaurant called The Habit. I would come home. I had Hulu, never used it. Saw Family Guy, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to watch this. So every time after I came home from work, which was like at 11 to 12 at night, 1 in the morning sometimes, family would be asleep, I would literally just turn on Family Guy, and I was hooked. And, all the characters are just relatable and funny. Especially Stewie's my favorite for sure. Just a Boston animated family that just goes through life, and they make bad decisions sometimes, but it is the humor of it that always gets me. So Family Guy is number one. So yeah, that wraps up our first top 5 list. That wraps up our Outside the Line segment. And that wraps up our first episode of season 2 of the 3rd and 10 podcast. Like I said, we got a lot of great things coming for you guys this month and in August. And of course, when the NFL season starts. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to, turn on the notification bell for new episodes coming out as well. Our YouTube channel is improving on a weekly basis. So, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe on there as well, because we got clips from every episode on there too. So look out for that. Other than that, I can't give you guys much of a preview for next episode other than
announcers.
Yeah, announcers for
top
sure.
5 announcers.
And then depending on when we do that next episode, which it could be the day of the Hard Knocks release, or it could be the day after, because we don't usually record on a Tuesday, so we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah,
but we know for sure, probably Thursday for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe as long as your schedule works, Brian, with us.
Yeah, I should be. I might be in an undisclosed location, but Thursday should work.
Undisclosed location.
Yeah.
What is Brian doing next?
Where in the world is Brian?
Where's Brian? Basically, where's Waldo?
It's a really crappy version of Where's Waldo. Where's Brian? Oh, he's got a beer. Oh, crap.
It's like, oh no, somebody's never mind. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Hey, fine. We'll figure it out.
You can follow us on everything social media at 3rd and 10 Pod. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Nathan_Nguyen24. You can follow my guy Brian on Instagram as well at Brian
P1016.
P1016. Okay.
Yeah, and on Twitter at Brian PG1016.
Which one did you make first, Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
So you're telling me you couldn't use Brian P1016 because some other dude took it from you? That's actually ridiculous.
Well, it's more of I just did Brian P1016 as my Instagram thing because I just did it quickly. And when I changed the Twitter handle, I had already been going. My thing had changed to Brian PG, so I was like, all right, I'm not changing it on Instagram. I'll just use the same on Twitter.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say someone better not take your username from you. I'm like, dang.
No.
Someone famous out there taking your username and stuff like that, man.
Yeah, no. No.
All righty. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you guys next week, baby. 3rd and 10 podcast. So we are back, season 2. We'll see you guys in the next.